Hi, I'm Jessie Walters from Charles Rutenberg. I'm here with you guys today to talk about real estate as usual. I wanted to give you an update. We had talked prior, and we talked about how many listings there were for sale in Pasco County, Hernando County, Hillsborough County, and Pinellas County. And this was the show we had done in May, and we talked about different, how much is for sale, how much is not for sale, the shortage. So we did some numbers, and we were comparing them back to May. In May, in Pasco County, there was 838 single-family total for sale, 838 homes. And now, here we are. Right now, we are in October, and we have 994 total listings for sale. So from Pasco, from then to now, so we have more, as far as inventory. And what does that mean for you guys? That means that if you're selling, it may slow as far as getting top money for the homes. Right now, we still are getting top money, but as the more inventory comes up, the less that we're going to have the bidding wars. So with that being said, so we had Pasco. Right now, just to give you guys an idea, right now in Pasco, this is on my Did You Know, but did you know right now in Pasco, there's 994 total listings in Pasco County. And what is that derived of? Well, there's 67 condos for sale. There's 90 mobiles for sale. There's 696 single-family residences for sale. 7 properties under 100,000. So in the whole of Pasco County, in a single-family residence, there's 7 under 100,000. So that number used to be probably about 30 in the last 3 years, but now there's 7 under 100,000, and of course they need a lot of work and stuff like that. But there's 45 townhomes and there's 39 villas, and so when it comes to supply and demand, that's what's keeping the market on the high top dollar. And of course, the interest rates are affecting that too. In other words, if the interest rates start to go up and the inventory is going up, then the prices are going to level out as well. Do I think they're going to come down? Probably not, but they're going to stay where it's not as such a bidding war. So in other words, you won't have as many people coming and bidding on the same property because there'll be more inventory. So now if you're looking at Pinellas County, there are 1,762 total listings of the whole Pinellas County. So, and of course, that's derived of, basically, to put it down to numbers, 1,016 of those are single-family residents, and there's only one property in the whole of Pinellas County in a single-family residence that's for sale under 100,000. So again, these numbers are accurate because I'm just on the MLS looking at it. And then when we looked last in May in Pinellas County, there was 1,600 for sale in May, and of single-family residents, there was 934, and of course now there's 1,016. Again, what does that mean? It means that there's more supply. When there's more supply, it means that the prices will level out because there's not going to be bidding wars because we have more properties. But we're still in a deficit. Like, these numbers aren't fantastic for inventory. I had a customer, totally off subject, but I had a customer who's looking for a property in Clearwater under 200,000 in a single-family residence. And there was 5 when I was showing, and they were all, needed a whole bunch of work. So it's just low inventory right now, and it's not, I think a lot of times people shopped 10 years ago or even 4 years ago and said, well, I want this property, I want a $100,000 property in Pasco County. There's not a lot of them now unless you're going to buy like a condo or a townhouse. And then when we get to Hillsborough County, Hillsborough County has 1,475 homes for sale of all of Hillsborough County, which is Tampa area. There's 5 under 100,000, and these 5 are not necessarily dilapidated, but they need work. So 5 homes under 100,000 in Hillsborough County, that's very, very minimal. 1,467 of these 1,475 are single-family residences, and then we compared them last time to 1,300 single-family residences. So it's about 150 each on these Pasco, Pinellas, Hillsborough, about 150 to 300 more as far as inventory. And as those numbers, like I said, keep sneaking up, you're going to have more and more of the prices level out. And like I was saying too, if the interest rates start to go up, then we're going to have it not a crash, but we're going to have a slowdown as far as the buyers, because the buyers, if the prices are up and the interest rates are up, then your payment is way up too. And when it comes to debt ratios of what people can afford, this is what's going to affect them. So if your prices are higher and your interest rates are lower, payment is going to still be pretty good. But when these two start to level out, then you're going to have a payment that starts going to go up and up. But right now, again, the interest rates had started, they had put them up and they leveled them back out again. So we're good right now as far as that goes. In Hernando County, of course, Hernando has its own MLS. So we have ML Exchange, which is Pasco, Pinellas, Hillsborough. It has Sumter, it has everything on there, and Hernando. But Hernando has its own MLS. So some of these homes, when I get numbers from the ML Exchange, there's another MLS that has other homes listed. So the Hernando is not that accurate, but because right now it has 316 homes that are listed on the ML Exchange for Hernando. And then last time it was 234. So again, like 100 to 150 each county, more inventory. And then also, this is kind of interesting, and is that what's under contract. So last year, the year before, last year it started, but the year before that, inventory homes could be on the market 30 days. You could have a home that's on the market. Maybe your seller put it a little higher, and you'd have a home that's maybe 2 weeks on the market, and the buyers would come in and they wouldn't think anything of it. Now, if you have a home that's on the market and it's been on the market for more than a week, a lot of the buyers are like, what's wrong with it? How come no one's purchased it? How come there's not a bidding war? So the average market day for my sales are 3 to 4 days. And the only reason I like to do 3 or 4 days is to get all the bids up on it. So in other words, do I get offers one day still? Yes. 1 or 2 offers first day in, even when people don't even look at the homes, they'll send an offer over. But what I like to do is to keep it on the market for my sellers at least 3 days. So we have like a kind of a bidding war, or we do have a bidding war, and it's you have between 3 to 8 offers instead of just the 1 or 2 on that first day in. We're lucky in Florida, as when COVID came, we did not they didn't stop us from going out. They we're essential workers. We could still show homes, masks, boot covers, gloves, whatever it took to show houses. We were still out there showing houses. Some states, unlike Florida, they weren't, they got shut down. They weren't allowed to do that. So they had a really, a lot of people there, with unemployment for realtors and stuff. At Florida, we got 100% lucky. We were still allowed to go out. And a lot of times we were also selling homes on FaceTime. So we were videoing homes with our phones, with our buyers from out of state on the actual, the other line, showing them homes. And now years past, not that hadn't happened. We had done video and showed people, but a lot of times people would get here and say, it's not exactly what I wanted. I'm going to go ahead and cancel the contract, even though you had sold it on video. Well, the last 2 years hasn't been like that. If someone purchased a home on video and maybe they didn't see something they liked in the bathroom, they still took that home because it was limited inventory and people needed places to live. So they weren't turning homes down with video purchasing. And I had the last one I had was Arizona. Kathy, if you're watching, I'm talking about you right now. And she came and she bought a home, a townhouse villa in Palm Harbor. And we walked around. Her daughter was with me, and we videoed it. And it's very hard to show like the colors of the paint, stuff like that. As far as sometimes when you're on FaceTime, even though my phone's new, it looks as if everything's kind of yellow. Not that this house was not yellow, but it was a lot of oranges. Even the seller had painted her ceiling fan orange too. But stuff like that. We're walking through, showing her FaceTime. We don't really take your FaceTime and look up at the orange ceiling fan. But anyway, long story short, she came and walked in, and then, she liked the layout she'd seen via video. And then when she looked up, she saw the orange fan, which we didn't even think to, you're always going to miss something. And of course, how much is a fan? $100. And, but anyway, on that home specifically, we had a bidding war via, she was on FaceTime, so she was a little nervous of what she was getting herself into, but we ended up paying $35,000 over the asking price for her to get that property. And she was not scared, even though she was on video, even though she was out of state. She purchased that home. And like I said, we outbid several, it was like 5 people, and one had just tied us in the bid. And of course, I, talked them into using me as a realtor because, that's what we do. And so anyway, Kathy purchased that property. And like I said, when she walked in, she was kind of like, okay, some of the stuff on the video you couldn't see, but, especially that orange ceiling fan, which I got a kick out of. But yeah, so a lot of people were purchasing via videos and just desperately trying to get these properties, where now there's a little bit more inventory. So that's good news for, your actual buyers. So if you're a realtor watching this, don't get discouraged if you've lost a couple of bidding wars. Just keep showing your customers, because, there is more inventory out there. And if you need to know how to structure an offer to actually get the offers when there is a bidding war, you can always call me too for tips. I can't let all my secrets out tonight because I don't want everybody outbidding me. But anyway, right now the trends for real estate, the Fortune magazine or Fortune.com, they are saying that the Zillow will peak as it gets more inventory, or those Zillow, Fortune, and let's see, another one. There was another, Freddie Mac. They're saying as it gets more inventory, the real estate pricing will peak out, which is what basically I'm saying too. The more inventory you get, the more that the prices won't keep going up. They'll stay steady because they'll turn into a normal purchasing and selling, which, of course, not a fortune teller, but, you want to think that the prices will not start to just crash down, decline, being positive. And no one really knows, because, a lot of people will say, there's going to be a crash. Do you think there's going to be a crash? And when you do this, there's no historic numbers to come up with the amount of, like, if it's going to be a crash. This doesn't match anything from 2006 to 2008 when it did crash, because people were just trying to get any type of money to purchase, and now the banks currently the banks are not just lending money like crazy. The appraisals are conservative. A lot of realtors are putting houses for sale. They're higher, and the appraisers are coming back saying, no, it's not worth it, which is a whole nother show. So don't get me started on that. But whereas in 2006, 2007, all in the 2005s even, it seemed as if, the house was $250. I put $275 on it. The appraisal comes back $275. So we crashed. Everybody was going crazy trying to buy as many properties as they can, which is similar to now. But the only thing is the interest rates were a lot higher, and the money, people would pay anything to get the money. So now the interest rates are really low. I call it free money days right now. And like I said, when the interest rates start to creep up, that's when the prices will level out. So mortgage rates are low, keeping them so. Yeah, so those were the statistics on Fortune magazine, and of course Zillow in 2022. That's what they're actually saying, is that it will peak, and when it peaks out, it will be because of the interest rates going up, not because of some type of crash. So that's, but then of course it's all opinion because nobody has a crystal ball. And that's for another show when we get the crystal ball out and try to tell you guys what exactly will happen. So that basically is that. But what I thought was interesting too was on the actual under contracts, there's still, for instance, in Pasco County, there's still 2,144 homes under contract right now. Pinellas, 2,687 under contract. Hillsborough, 3,804, and then of course Hernando, which isn't really real accurate, is 570. And those numbers are still really good, because a lot of people are skeptical and saying that there is going to be a crash. But with numbers like that, as far as under contracts, that's amazing. Those are really great numbers still. And I think yesterday there was 300 and I want to say 70 properties listed in one day. But those are like, they're all over the place. Sumter, can be in Orlando, just depending if they put them on the MLS and stuff like that too. But these numbers, as far as inventory and stuff, if you're, their numbers are going up. So if you're looking for a home and you're discouraged and you're saying, I'll just take a break, now is the time to keep looking. Normally, I know that we're kind of not in the normal category these last couple of years, but usually winter is the time to purchase on the lower end as far as like getting a better deal. There's different ways to find out or to catch that good deal. And one is to look for homes that are back on the market for a purchaser that maybe got a little carried away on a bidding war, and then they got this home and it's not exactly what they want, and then now they have buyer's remorse, so they call the agent and say, I just want to cancel, and then it's back on the market. When they go back on the market, the sellers are a little bit, more negotiable at that point. If it's not within that week, especially if it's like 2 weeks later, the sellers have already counted the money and picked out the vacation they're going on. So at that point, they're a little bit more motivated to say, you put this offer in, it wasn't the highest offer, but we're going to go ahead and take your offer at this point. Look for those back on the market deals, because, as a buyer, you're seeing something back on the market, and your first questions or your first comment's going to be, what's wrong with it? Why is it back on the market? And that's what's going to also get you maybe a discount or maybe a negotiable seller, or maybe just get you the bid at this point. So the other buyer walked because they just decided it wasn't for them, and now you're getting that second chance to actually scoop up that purchase. So just because it's back on the market, don't get a bad stigma. Don't get the bad, juju where you feel like you're getting a bad deal. Take it as an opportunity to purchase that home still. And they say everything happens for a reason, and it come back around and you're next in line. If they had a home inspection already done and there's something on the home inspection, you can always ask the previous buyer if you can look at their home inspection. They own it, to clear it up, as far as why it's back on the market. But most of the time, that's where, a lot of the good deals is when they're coming back in the market. They've already been under contract, and then you're getting this opportunity, a second opportunity to say whether you want it or not. Scoop it up if you liked it the first time and see if there was a problem, if they'll level with you and tell you, or if it's just back on the market because that buyer walked, But take advantage of that, the back on the markets. And there are still, lots of back on the markets where people just have, buyer's regrets and stuff. But anyway, we're going to take a quick second break here. You guys stay tuned. And we also have the SPCA coming in a couple minutes too. Jessie Walters with Charles Rutenberg. Thanks for coming back to see me. And first of all, I want to thank Nightberry Title Services, Cheryl Herney over there. You guys are great. And thanks for last month. Really made everything come together. It was not a mess because it was a lot of sales for me. So it was a great month, but it was also a lot of work for them. So I appreciate you guys, and also appreciate you guys taking care of some people for me in St. Augustine too. You guys are great. Also, I want to thank Diane Gaston from the mortgage firm. Thanks for always getting it done for me, Diane. She's fantastic. If anybody needs a approval or pre-approval, she's your lady. Thanks, Diane. And Diane's going to be coming in soon to answer some questions for us about mortgages. So if you guys have any mortgages, you can send me messages, or mortgage questions, you can send me messages, and we'll answer them for you. or if you just want some information, that will be next week. Yeah. That'll be the 19th. Dylan will be in. So for you guys, it'll be the 23rd or something like that. But anyway, so we'll do questions and answers with Dylan. So now I know you guys are talking about just different questions that you guys always ask me about how to pick a realtor. And of course, if you call me up with that question, I'm going to say, just pick me and don't waste your time trying to interview all these crazy people that I work with. Just pick me. I'm crazy enough to get your house sold. But so a lot of questions that you guys ask are, is it improper to ask to see someone's real estate license? Well, as realtors, we show each other our licenses all the time. So in other words, when I get a property under contract, the first thing that they ask me is, can I get your real estate license? Because it's updated immediately in the MLS with my real estate license. So I have to be an actual licensed realtor. If you have a bunch of, this is horrible, but if say you had a kind of a bad background and you did some things and you got arrested, can you be a realtor? Well, most likely you can't be a realtor. They do have some exceptions. So with that being said, most realtors don't have criminal backgrounds. You feel like they're safe in your home. And the reason is because we actually have to go for FBI fingerprinting, background checks before we're licensed. So if you're actually like nervous about having someone in your house, you don't have to worry, because the state of Florida, and most states, all states, they check your background, they check to make sure, and the FBI register you too, and make sure you're not some type of crazy criminal trying to get in people's houses. So that's one thing. If they do have a real estate license and you want to see it, it's not a question where people are insulted. Most people are proud that, because it's not the easiest license to get. So if you ask a realtor, can I see your license, your real estate license, they should say yes, or at least give you the number and tell you how to look it up on the Department of Business and Professional Regulation. If you see a realtor and you just wonder if they are licensed, you can go to dbbr.com, .com, and then put their name in, and their license number should come up, and it should show you how long they've been licensed for, and everything. So that's one question you guys had asked, like, how do I really know they're licensed? So can you pass on a list of referrals? Well, every agent would love that if you passed on a list of referrals, but make sure your referrals that you send over to your agent, make sure that they know that this realtor is going to call, because sometimes people don't like, or they're on the no-call list, so that can cause a problem. What is your average days on the market? So right now, like I was saying, it's 3 to 4 for me, because I choose it to be. A lot of times realtors want it to be 1 day, which is great, but sometimes it's not in the best interest of the seller, even though it looks fantastic as far as an agent having 1 day on the market sold. Do you get contracts 1 day on the market? Like I said, yes, 100%. But sometimes you have to let it go a couple days just to make sure we're getting the highest and best offer for both sides, for the seller getting the most proceeds, and for the buyers finding the best buyer for this home. And I always tell the realtors who call me as far as mentorship, they'll say, well, who do I pick? And it's, for me, I want the buyer to love the home. If you find a buyer that actually is in love with the home, or if you find a buyer where it checks all the boxes and it's okay, the buyer that loves the home is the one that will probably hang in there if anything was to go wrong, like say the home inspection, there was a couple of issues on it, something like that. The buyer that really loves the home will try to find a way to work it out with the seller. And then if you find a buyer who just checks all the boxes, we're on 3-bedroom, 2 baths, not exactly the location I want, it's not exactly the layout I like, but maybe we could change this and this, it's okay, it'll do. If you get a bad home inspection report, that buyer is more likely to walk. So you want to make sure the buyer is invested with not just a deposit, but mentally too, that they love the home. So, and that's on your agent that you pick to actually kind of find that out, from the other agent and stuff. So what is your average days on the list, on the market? Mine's 3 to 4. So I would usually say 3, but I will push to 4. Can you explain the home selling process start to finish? So when you have a seller, a lot of times too right now, depending on where they're at and with COVID, you want to make them feel comfortable. People are coming in and out of their home. So for instance, for me, I do have shoe coverings. I have baskets when you walk in the house with the antibacterial shoe coverings. It has gloves in there if people feel really uncomfortable, and there's masks in there too. So this station that I have at your front door is to protect the agents, to protect your buyers, to protect you when people are coming in your house. They're not dragging in dirt either with the shoe coverings and stuff like that. We used to just have the shoe coverings, 4 years ago, if you had bamboo floors or if you had, just for more for dirt, but now it's for germs. So it actually works out good. But a lot of sellers like to see those baskets, and they're relieved because they just don't want people just tracking dirt in and germs. And so it's kind of the way it is right now. For me, I do that. Not all agents do that, but I think that that's the best thing for the seller to go out, and then for the buyers to come in, cover their shoes, put the masks on, put your antibacterial on, and then see the house that way. What price will sell this house? So a lot of times when I have a seller, I'll tell them a price, and they'll say, well, do you think I could push it to this much? Well, in this market right now, the best thing is not to push it to the highest amount. And you're probably thinking, that doesn't make any sense. People are getting these astronomical prices. Best thing is to put the valuation of the home at the appraised value or at a CMA, a comparative market analysis for your seller. The reason is one, that's where it'll appraise that. Two, if you have a buyer who wants to pay over that, then if you ask them to come up with the extra cash to fund that, if it doesn't appraise out, it makes more sense if your buyer is going over what the valuation that you've actually priced it at. Most bidding wars are because you put the price of the home at the actual valuation that it's worth, and then the buyers will come in and say, well, I'll give you this much more over it. And then at that point, you can actually ask the buyer to pay that amount and make sure that they have the cash to come up with it if it does not appraise out. We hope it appraises out, but if it doesn't appraise out, you ask the buyer, are you willing to come up with this extra money that you paid over the appraised amount? If that makes sense. So that's kind of how you start, the bidding war. Don't price it. If you think it's worth $500 and your realtor tells you $475, go with the $475. Chances of you getting $500 is pretty good. And then over that, maybe $510, just depending on which area you're located in. What do you believe will sell this home? Well, they always have that thing. It's location, location, and then location. And then there's also the other one. It's location or it's price. So if you don't have it priced at the right price, but you have the location. So if you have beachfront and you've overpriced it, you might get someone who will overpay for it. But if you're in the middle of a development and you decide that your house is worth $20,000 more because you put in new granite countertops, the granite countertops do have valuation, but you want to make sure you put it at a price where it's a normal price, it's an appraised price. I know there's a couple I've seen on the MLS who have priced their houses at $1 million just to see if they can sell it $800,000 when their houses are worth $300,000, just hoping to get that out-of-state purchaser. And they've been on the market for over close to a year now, just putting this crazy prices on it. So if you have a good realtor, I would say that they're not going to let you purchase a home for $1 million if the house is worth $300,000. But if you come, you never know if you get desperate, I guess is what they were kind of counting on that for that one. But what should I already be packing up? So if I come to your house and you're already packing up, that's great for me because I know I'm going to sell it right away. You're ready to go. I usually tell people to try to put the boxes into the garage and all the extra furniture into the garage. If you have, say, excessive amount, less is more when you're selling. I always say to clothesline the tables. Of course, one thing's okay on the table, but if it looks like this, like what I have going on over here, you want to get rid of all this clutter. So especially for pictures. And that's another pet peeve is like, don't get me started on the pictures, if you have a red towel in your bathroom, and you're getting the photographers in there, take the red towel down, take the rugs off, all the extra stuff that people could focus in on when you're getting those pictures done. But what should I be packing up? You should be packing up all your knickknacks, all your pictures. If you have small children, don't leave the pictures out of all your kids and stuff for the photographer when they're shooting pictures. I know that I told this story before, but I had a photographer come in and I had the lady take all her kids' pictures down, but didn't realize there was still pictures on the refrigerator. And so the photographer took a picture, and it had the mirror, and the mirror had the reflection of the refrigerator. The refrigerator had all the kids' little pictures from school. And so I did get a call from the seller stating that the kids' pictures were on the MLS on Zillow. And, of course, we immediately took the picture down. But things like that happen. You have to be careful what's in the reflection. I've seen some buy owners where they've took pictures and not realize that they're in the picture. So, really look at your pictures before you post them. Make sure they're going to help your sale and not hinder it. So what should you be packing? The pictures, clutter, like I said, clothesline, all your kitchen area, except for like a coffee pot, a toaster, things that are kitchen, like, put all your pins away. Everybody's got that junk drawer. Throw it all in there. Just make sure everything is clear, is what you want to do. And then, so again, can I see a written comparative market analysis? When they come to your house, you're going to want to see that. You're going to want to see, why your house is worth what it is. So in other words, if Mr. and Mrs. Smith sold their house, 4 weeks ago, and they got $10,000 more than you, and you're upset because the realtor just told you your house is worth $10,000 less than theirs. Is yours the same square footage? Does yours have a pool and theirs doesn't? Or they have a pool and yours doesn't? There's reason they may have come up with that valuation. If it's the same exact square foot, same exact layout and everything, then that makes sense. Question, why is their house worth more? Mine's exactly the same. A lot of times people get their square footage confused. They think that their house is the same as someone else's who got, say, $500 for theirs, and theirs is only worth $450. And then when they sit down and the realtor shows them the square footage, theirs is 300 square foot more than yours, and then it makes sense to you. You say, oh, okay, I got it now. But when you just see, from the outside, that looks exactly the same. The lot's exactly the same, so I'm going to get exactly the same as them. And sometimes when we get down to, the nitty gritty, that house will be bigger, or they may have, like I was saying, a pool that puts valuation. But there's always, like, when you get down to the bottom line of what actually, for valuation and stuff. So can I get a written comparative market analysis? Yes. And realtors, leave those with your customers. Don't take those with you. Leave them with the CMAs and let them look through, and let them, after you leave, give them some homework to see where they're located at. There's a map in there. You can see how close the houses are that you pulled for your comparative market analysis. And remember, 3 months is as far as you want to go back. When you start going 6 months back or 8 months back or even a year back, the appraiser is not going to use those a year back sale. They're going to want the last 3 to 6 months. 3 months is the minimal, and usually within a couple miles of that home too. So that's one of those. Don't get me started on that comparative market analysis. What price will this house sell for? Again, we don't know what you're, without the crystal ball, what buyers are going to come in. But then you also, like I was saying, want to make sure it's priced right, not overpriced in this market, because people don't want to see deductions either. So if you tell your realtor, no, they got 500, I'm going to get 500, that's what we're going to price it at, and they told you 475, and then your house sits on the market for 2 weeks, and then you say, well, just reduce it, that's not going to help you as far as your sale. Of course, a buyer is going to say, oh, that's great, they reduced it. But then they're also going to say, how come it's being reduced right now in this market when things are being bid on? So the best thing for you to do is to actually price the house at the comfortable place where it's going to appraise, and then hope to get over, not price it over and then hope to get under. Right now is not the best thing to do. Best thing right now is to price it at the CMA value, the appraised value. And then, of course, there's no way to come up with what exactly the price of the house will sell for. And then the other question was, how can we work together to sell this house? So if you're thinking more of like your realtor is trying to make money out of you and you don't have that relationship with the realtor, you need to think more of like a partnership. So your realtor is working for you. If you call your realtor at 10 o'clock at night, I know we're all crazy. We're all going to answer the phone, make sure you're okay, unless we're asleep. But most of the time, it's your partnership with that realtor that's going to sell your house too and make that smooth transaction. And then your transition to your new home. So you want to feel like a partnership with that realtor, feel like you can actually talk to that realtor. Some of us are argumentative, not me, but some of you guys. If you're that type of person, you might have to have someone who is not like you to sell your home. In other words, a lot of times people say, well, do you think I could sell it myself as far as a buy owner? And I know some of my friends, no, you cannot sell it yourself because you're going to get into arguments with your buyers. The realtor is going to be in between, talking for you, making sure you don't put, fabricate, or exaggerate, so this realtor is going to make sure, oh, how old's your roof? 2019. Let's pull permits. Let's make sure. Oh, it's 2018. Oh, I didn't know. But this is basically it's to keep you out of liability too. So make sure you have that partnership with your realtor. Make sure they're a good person and they're not going to lie. You're not going to lie. Everybody's going to tell the truth. Best thing, no lawsuits that way, and they're protecting you from that for the future. You're going to sell your property on an as-is contract. They're going to make sure you're protected, and you don't have to have any of that stress. Your realtor is going to take it all on for you. So make sure that's a partnership with them. And that was their question. How can we work best together to sell the house? And that's the beauty of having a realtor is that you're in that partnership, and they're going to actually work for you and protect you. So that's a great thing. You guys stay on track, stay here, and SPCA is coming right in. Welcome back. I'm here today with Diane Oberlander. Did I get that right? Diane Oberlander. Say it 3 times fast. And Prince, who just decided to lay down and chill out for the.
What a good boy.
Prince is available for adoption at SPCA Suncoast, located on Congress. And there's some beautiful pictures of him. He's such a poser.
He just did the Halloween picture, so he participated.
I love that picture. He looks like he's almost like, he looks Italian there.
He looks Italian. He looks a little mobbish, does he?
Yeah. Because he has little eyebrows.
He does.
So cute.
He does.
Yeah. He looks like he had his eyebrows done. Aw, he's in little balls.
Little heart tongue.
Yeah, aw. He's like, who, me? He's so
We're talking
cute.
about you. I know. He's
total goofball.
Yeah, and he's just a love.
Aw, look at how cute.
I know. He takes some fantastic pictures.
Mary's looking sweet.
Yeah.
Look innocent, Prince. Prince Charming. Oh, so he's
actually 5.5 now. He's one that's come back.
Okay.
So he's 5.5, but still the same guy, still loving, active.
I like the tie. He looks good with
He
the
looks
tie.
good in anything.
Yeah.
There he was looking out the window, seeing his adopter was coming.
Aw. Wanted.
Yeah.
Nice.
He's a pretty awesome dude.
Yeah, he's really cute. He has a good personality. Sweet. Oh, I
Yeah.
like the cowboy hat,
The sheriff,
too.
yeah.
Yeah, sheriff. Is that his Halloween costume?
Yeah, we put everything and anything on him. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Whatever they'll wear, we'll put on him. So, and he was obviously a really good sport about it. So.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a good boy. So
Yeah.
tell me about how much is he to get adopted?
He is 250,
$250, okay.
and he's up to date on all his shots, rabies. He's got a chip. He's neutered, so he's good to go.
Right, okay. Yeah, he's pretty.
He is.
How much does he weigh? I know it said it on there, but it's
I
fast.
don't know. I think he's probably like 65, 70 pounds.
Yeah. So he's a good dog if you want to have someone who has presence at your house. You don't have to
Yes.
worry about alarm system. You got Prince.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Free alarm system. Free alarm system. He'll tell you
Yeah,
what's
a
going
sweet
on.
one. I have to say, he's kind of a sweet alarm system.
Yeah. Yeah, I would never, I couldn't do your job and like bring them and then be attached to them and then someone else gets them. Oh gosh. My husband would kill me. I had like 20 of them at home.
Yeah, right. A lot of people. Good boy. Look at it. He's showing all the stuff he knows.
Yeah, look at his little markings
He knows
on
a
his
lot
chest.
of basic commands. He's really good about that. He's very much a pleaser.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
you are. He has a little bit of anxiety when he gets away from his people a little bit.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
he likes to be part of everything.
Yeah, he doesn't know with the lights so we have a
Yeah.
bunch of bright lights on us right now, and
Yeah.
he's kind of like, "What is this?"
I know.
So
he's like,
definitely
I've never
aware-
been like this before.
Yeah, he's definitely aware of his surroundings. That's for sure. But he's very pretty. He reminds me of that. They always call it. I don't know if it's a real thing, but they call it like a Florida brown dog. Have you heard that?
I've recently started hearing about
Yeah,
that. I don't
he has-
understand.
My mom, I think it's like a old Floridians would say that's a Florida brown dog, but he's a Ridgeback, right? You said.
Yeah, he's a Ridgeback mix.
Yeah, so I think it's just
So
the mix.
People here say Florida.
A Florida brown dog.
like it's
And
a
looks-
breed.
Yeah, like it's a breed, but it's just a
Okay.
brown dog that is like
Okay.
yeah, it looks just like
I got
this.
ya.
So
Right. Okay.
my mom would be like, "Oh, that's a Florida brown dog," and I'd be like, "Okay."
Okay. Let
A
me Google
Ridgeback?
that.
Yeah, maybe we should. We'll do the next show on that.
Right. I'm kind of curious about it now.
Yeah, so he's great. So how many dogs? Tell me about how many dogs you guys have. Is it still everybody donating their dogs back and stuff still?
Yeah, we
Oh my
we
gosh.
still have a list we're trying to go through. The good thing, like this past week, earlier in the week, we found out that there were several people that were able to rehome their dogs. So they found
that's good.
a home for them, so we
Yeah.
didn't have to take them in. So I'm
Yeah.
always kind of happy about that.
Yeah,
you
that's
know?
good. And you have to be careful too if you have, kittens or pit bulls and you're rehoming them to make sure that you check that home you're
Yes.
sending them to, so you don't have a nightmare.
Exactly. Yeah.
So especially if you love your dog, make sure it's going to a good home. But that's good if they're able to rehome them themselves.
Yes.
I know there was this one lady, we were talking about this last time, was they're short on dog food. And I thought it was pretty smart, even though I know it takes a lot for a person to say, hey, I don't have dog food. I need dog food. I want to keep my dog. And so we ventured out. I made my husband come with me, and we ventured out to this lady's house. And I got
brought
this.
her dog food?
Yeah. I brought her
That's
this
awesome.
this huge thing of dog food and this beautiful, like it was one of those blue pits or those silver
Oh,
looking ones.
yes,
Yeah,
yes,
and
yes.
I was like, oh, I hope he doesn't eat my face off as I put the
you're
dog, the bag down. My husband put it down and I like because my husband just goes back to the truck and then I was like,
stay to
hi,
talk.
yeah, and I just like pushed the dog and the dog seen the dog food and was so excited. To the could care less about us. Was just smelling the bag. Was
Yeah.
so was hungry, and so I mean if that's one of those things if
That's
you
awesome.
request that
Yeah.
and she was like thanks so much. I was like no problem, bye.
Right.
So she
Yeah, if it's just like something like food or something like that's keeping them from keeping their animal. Oh my gosh, yeah. If we
Yeah.
can buy them food and help them out that way, I'd
Yeah.
rather do that than
Yeah, exactly.
see them at the shelter. so-
Exactly. Yeah. So if there's any way, I mean, even though like she was saying, she felt embarrassed, and it's like, don't be
Yes.
embarrassed.
Yes, right.
Because there's so many people that want to help, especially
Right.
dogs. Because a lot of people hate people, but they love dogs.
Right, exactly. Yeah. If you say it's for a dog, they're like, oh, okay, what can I do?
Yeah. Yeah. Can I get a donation? Not you. Dog. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
How much money do I have
Yeah.
in my purse?
Totally. That's the truth.
Yeah, it's like, oh, a dog toy, okay.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so try to think outside the box. If you're trying to keep your dog, a lot of people will help, And then of course
Yes.
there's always those people that have the comments and the, social media
always-
is like a tool, and it's also, can torture yourself too. So,
Yes.
but if you do need help,
You know,
put it
if
out
you're
there.
just trying to do the right thing, forget what everybody else says. Do you
Yeah.
know what I mean? That's what
Yeah.
it's about. Just trying to do the right thing. And,
Yeah,
and
true.
all the others,
yeah,
in one ear, out the other.
true. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Just trying to do right by these
Yeah,
guys.
exactly.
And there's a lot of them out there now, and I was worried that we were going to start getting more calls about, he's so attentive.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just
He's like,
noticing
"What?"
how attentive he truly
He's like,
is.
I'm with her.
Yeah, he's like,
yeah, I
whatever
know, I
she's
see.
like, oh, okay.
I see that. I got no love. I got
He's
no
like,
love.
are you being jealous, Jess?
I was. I even tried to get a picture, and he was like, "Nope, turn down
But
all
he
the
did.
photos."
He finally
Yeah.
did it. Good boy. But
Yeah.
we are starting to get more calls on dogs now. So we've always been getting a lot of calls about cats, surrender
Right.
cats, but our dog calls have picked up. So
Okay.
I was like worried that might happen, and we've hit that.
Yeah, because a lot of the shelters, Hernando, Pasco, Hillsborough, I think it was Hernando that was doing like free adoptions,
Yeah.
and because they're so full, because so
Right.
many people
Yeah.
during COVID
Surrendered.
adopted, and then now they're
And now
back
they're
to
coming
work
back.
and they just feel like overwhelmed, I guess, and they just can't take care of their dogs. I could never do that. Like my dogs are not perfect, but then I'm just like, well, we're stuck with them. You know what I mean? They're not going
We'll make it
anywhere.
work.
Yeah, yeah.
But at the same time, what's great is there are options. So you have an active dog, but you're afraid when you're at home that they might not do well. There's doggy daycares
Right.
and, camps out there that they can go to for several hours, and then they come home and they pass out, and
Yeah,
they're all
exactly.
good.
Yeah.
So, and then there's, Rover, who has dog walkers. I mean,
Yeah.
so there's options for people.
True.
Now, I know there's always the expenses.
Yeah, that
the
go along with
problem.
it. Yeah, and too, depending on how big your dog is, there's always those kids in the neighborhood too.
I was just going to suggest
Yeah.
this because I used to be one of them
Yeah.
when I was a little kid. I
Yeah,
was
me
like, I'll
too.
walk your dog.
Yeah, me too.
I don't care how big it is.
Yeah, I had that. I missed it. Gosh, I forgot her name, but yeah, I got $7 a week, and I got fired because I asked for a raise though. So there's always that.
Okay, so I did it for free.
Oh, you're better than me. I used to have to lay newspaper down. This is a whole nother show. I used to have to lay newspaper down. These two little dogs would urinate all over it, and then I would clean it up every day, and I would put all the newspaper down and bleach it out, then walk the dogs. So I was like, I think I should get at least $10.
Oh my gosh.
I was
okay,
like
so,
8. I was 8. And,
Like I was just walking the
yeah.
dogs. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
wasn't doing anything special.
Yeah. So, what is her name? I'll remember in a sec.
Yeah, you're
I'll be
like-
like, you owe me money.
Yeah, right. You're like, I'm collecting my debt.
That's when I knew I'd be good in sales, when I was like, I need to get a raise.
Well, yeah, obviously,
Yeah.
I was doing everything for
Yeah, for free. Yeah, here I am. I'm selling houses.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Yeah, there you have it.
You're like, and you're still donating your time. Gosh, I'm a horrible person.
No, you're not. We all have our thing, right?
That's awesome. But yeah, so how many dogs do you have available for adoption, and
Right
what
now,
kind are they?
We probably have 12 to 15 right now that are ready
Okay.
to go. You can always check Facebook under Friends of SPCA or SPCA Suncoast. Each week we'll put a video of all the available dogs out there.
Oh, okay, great.
And don't forget we have cats and kittens too.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Yeah,
You have a lot of
we're
cats.
trying to work on doing the same thing we do for the dogs for the cats.
Right, okay.
It's just with shorter staff, so it takes a little longer.
Yeah.
But
That's a great, so if someone wants to volunteer their time, maybe have a photographer who has extra time, because I know a lot of people come here, retire, bored.
Yes,
And then
yes.
once a week, they could go in and do all the pictures
Right.
and upload them the next day. 2
Yeah.
days, they would probably.
oh, because we're also trying to get on TikTok too.
Oh, nice. What's that?
SPCA Suncoast West Pasco is what we are there, and we just started that. So
Oh,
trying to
okay.
get the dogs and the cats out
On
there
TikTok.
too.
Oh, wow.
And then always Patengo. I don't know if everybody knows about them, but Patengo is a place where it's one of those search sites for animals in your area, and you put in you're looking for a dog and your zip code, and
Right.
it'll bring up all the dogs. All our animals are there too.
So, on the, which kind of, you just reminded me, so if you say you lose your dog, what advice do you give people? Because I know they call you for that too. So,
Yes. First, they should call whatever county they're in. So here we would call Pasco County Animal Services, let them know. then I've noticed a lot of people going on Facebook under the lost and found,
Right.
Posting their animals there, and then them getting, he's like, we had eye contact.
I know, you should actually. I was like, you got me.
But yeah, and they go on Facebook under the lost and founds, and I've heard success stories from
Yeah.
there. There's also,
Pet Finder? Is
no.
it Pet Finder?
Well, Pet
Fido
Finder there's a lost dog site, and it's Paw Boost,
What? Oh, Paw Boost. Yeah.
maybe.
Yeah. I think it is. So there, you could.
There's
yeah.
definitely different sites
Yeah.
that you can post your animal in. You can always let your local shelters know too, because a lot of times if they're brought to us, we'll scan them.
Right.
We'll try and
So-
reach you, and if we can't, then we have to send them to Pasco to, have further claim.
I found one on Decubulus, and I was showing houses, and I was like, oh, I'm going to be
All
late
right.
for this appointment now. But I called animal control with their tag, gave them the tag, and then they gave me their address. So then I just
perfect.
knocked on their door with their dog,
yes.
and they're like, I didn't even know my dog was out, and I thought. I thought it was going to be one of those.
Oh my God, my dog!
Yeah, and I want to list my house. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. But I was like, "Here's
funny
is this
that
your
it
dog?"
was
Yeah. They're like, "Where I didn't even know the dog was missing." I was like, "Oh, it almost got hit on Decubulus like 2 times, and then it jumped up on the
disappointing.
side of my car, and I was like, it's gonna scratch my car." But I was more about I don't want the dog to die, so I
course,
got the dog in my car.
right.
So I did a good
Right, you
thing.
did
Not
your
as good
good
as you,
deed.
but I did try to do. Second place. I saved some
You
turtles.
didn't charge them.
Yeah. That'll be $29.95.
Yeah. My gas and my time and my life for getting them off the road.
Yeah, exactly. No, I'm not that bad.
No, you're not.
Yeah. But yeah, so kittens, how much are kittens are more expensive, right?
Yes, kittens are $125, cats are $100. We actually have like a lot of cats and kittens right now,
Yeah.
so people really need to come out and see them all.
Yeah. They're
Especially
cute.
the adult cats. We actually have some really awesome adult cats, and I know everybody kind of gets hung up on getting a kitten.
Yeah.
But they're as kittenish as the rest of them, you know?
One of my friends, her roommate found out that she's allergic to her cats, her birds. So she, yeah, so she had to get rid of it. And so these cats though are just gorgeous cats. So they're the ones that with the, you get them groomed and they have I forget what, they have the little big feet with the,
Yeah.
you know what I mean, the flat face and the expensive cats.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, and she's trying to adopt them out herself to make sure they go to good homes.
Yes.
And but at the end of the day, she has to get them out of there as soon as possible. And a lot of times, I think people think, well, it's an older cat. Why, is it giving them problems? This cat is so sweet and so beautiful. It's a really, really cute cat. But sometimes they find themselves just like dogs in a
100%.
situation. Yeah.
Yes,
So
we've had people die and
Yeah.
their family can't keep them, and
Yeah.
we've had to take them. We actually have, just real quick, a success story. We had
Oh, nice.
a pair of cats come in about 6 months ago, PJ and Smokey, and like it took them, no joke, 4 or 5 months to come out of their shell to even be seen.
Aw.
And these young men from New York brought them. It was their aunt's cat who lived here.
Oh, okay.
And none of them could have them. They loved them. I mean, the stories they told me about growing up with these
Aw.
cats, and they just loved them. They were adopted this weekend together.
Oh, together.
Like,
Oh,
I'm
that's
so
nice.
excited about
Aw,
that.
that is nice.
And one of my things I told everybody, I'm like, I can't wait to do the post because I know they follow us to show them that they
got
went to a
adopted.
great home.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, and that's the best when people actually care enough to, to actually follow up and stuff with things. I know.
Yeah.
Was it you guys or the Humane Society? One of them had someone who adopted, but then she kept critiquing the ads as they were trying to she put her dog up for adoption, couldn't keep it, but then she didn't let go of the dog. She was like, you guys put that it's this breed, but it's actually, she was on there correcting, this is my old dog. And I was like, probably not the best thing to do. If
Right,
you're trying to
exactly. Yeah, you
adopt your
surrendered
dog
your
out.
dog. You
Yeah,
should
you gotta
quietly
yeah.
step away.
Yeah, it's sad. I was like, she's gonna go back and end up adopting that dog. I was
right.
waiting the whole
Selling
time.
herself.
Yeah, like don't pick him. Yeah,
Yeah, right.
So you keep, you know what I mean?
It's about them. Yeah,
Yeah,
we need to remember
exactly.
it's about them.
Yeah, they're like kids, and so dogs are the best. So like as far as sometimes people say the wrong thing or they're stressed or whatever. But your dog's always happy to see you. Your dog. You walk through the door, your dog is excited, and you have a lot of they're just great to have.
Yes.
And you don't
Great
have to worry
companions.
someone's in your house if you have a dog. You know what I mean? When
Right.
you get home,
Right.
if you're single or if you're married and no one's home, if you have a dog, no one's coming in. Unless maybe a
Right.
little teeny dog.
Right,
does,
exactly. But when
like
you hear a
this
big
dog,
bark, right?
Yeah.
You're not going to be.
Deterrent for
I
sure.
I wouldn't think you would want to go in.
Yeah, exactly.
And
yeah.
a lot of what I notice, a lot of these that come back, people, they're telling us that they're, can't manage them. Oh, they won't listen. No. You know what? We take the time at the shelter to try and work with them. You
Yeah.
know what? It is about patience and time.
Yeah, true. Yeah, just like
Not
kids.
for everything, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, there's harder cases. But for the basic stuff, if you just give them patience and time
Yeah.
and treats,
Yeah, and treats.
they
Treats,
will.
treats are always
Yes,
good. Yeah.
they will definitely come around. So.
Yeah. Yeah, and especially, I mean, he is so healthy too. Like he's
Yes.
like his code and everything.
Yeah, he's actually amazing, and this is my first time having him out. So
Okay.
it's really nice to see how well he did
I
in
like
the
if you
car.
have eye contact with him, how he jumps up and
Oh
runs
yeah,
over to
he's
you.
all about
Yeah.
that. Like I
Yes.
saw when you
Yeah.
he was like, oh yes,
Did you look at me?
yeah. Did you need something? Did you?
Yeah,
want
he's
my
like, he's like, you got any treats, lady?
yeah.
See, like eye contact.
Oh,
He's
there he
like,
goes.
Hi, you're so cute.
Oh my goodness.
Yes, you're so beautiful. Everyone tells you that, though, I bet. Yeah, he is
Yes.
Prince Charming. He does get you. So
Yeah,
he's-
he for sure does.
yeah, he's a beautiful dog.
Boy, look at the
Yeah,
camera.
so if anybody wants to donate or your time or come get them and adopt them
Yes.
or volunteer or find out what you guys need for food,
Yep.
snacks, toys, Suncoast, SPCA, they're always looking for all that. So if anybody has any questions and you can't get a hold of them, just call me
Yep.
or send me a message and I'll put you in touch with Diane.
boy.
Thanks so much for joining us today.
Of course. Thank you for
guys
having us.
Have a great day. Thank you.